Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, and first of all, I just want to wish this little monster a very happy birthday. Harkin is one today. Aren't you, darling? Yep, Harkin, the little critter, is one. Okay, I'm jumping on here because over the weekend, someone shared with me a document, which was a bill that was recently passed at the end of last month. And I didn't actually believe it. So you know me, I'm like a dog with a bone. So while we've been dealing with other things, like maths, um, meanwhile in Australia, our government has updated our Defence Act of 1903, um, I think on the 21st of September, which means that all persons aged 18 to 60 uh, have liability to serve in time of war. Now, I didn't believe it. I thought it was some conspiracy theorist on the interwebs, but and I will share the front page of the full document in this video. But last night I wrote some notes about this because it is accurate. The Defence Act of 1903, compilation number 82 on the 21st of February. So I'm just going to outline to you the relevant sections. Section 59 states that all persons who have resided in Australia for at least 6 months, so just resided in Australia, just letting you know, between 18 and 60 years old are liable to serve in the Defence Force if called upon. Section 60 allows the Governor-General to issue proclamation calling on those individuals to serve for the duration of the time of the war. Section 61 establishes regulations for registration, medical examinations, and selections by ballot or otherwise of those required to serve. Now, there are some exemptions, of course. Let's make sure that there's a back door so that the ones creating this bill can slip out the back door. The exceptions in 61A apply to persons with mental or physical disabilities. Now, absolutely, right? If we're going to have this, requirement, then absolutely. But then we have ministers of religion and members of religious orders. We have members of parliament, judges, police, and magistrates. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about a back door. When you look at a bill that goes through Parliament, always look at the back door. Persons with conscientious beliefs against war, but they may still be required to serve in non-combatant roles. So I know during World War II, if you were a Seventh-day Adventist or a Baha'i, you did not serve in the combatant section of Defence Forces, but you may have been on the medic team, etc. So the law does provide for compulsory service during wartime now in Australia under a proclamation with exemptions for certain groups. So someone messaged me when I was chatting about this and they asked me, well, how is this law passed without consent of the population? Most bills are passed like that. So laws like this Defence Act 1903, compilation 82 in 2025 are typically passed through parliamentary procedures rather than direct public consent. And here's how this likely happened. One, it's the parliamentary process. So the amendment, Act number 14, would have been introduced as a bill in the Australian Parliament. It would have gone through 3 readings in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. If passed, it would have received royal assent from the Governor-General to make it law. Now, look, there was a lack of referendum for this because, and I'll say this about other matters, for example, council. Australia does not require a referendum or legislative changes under the Constitution unless the Constitution is being amended itself. Since the Defence Act is an ordinary law, Parliament can amend it without public vote. Now, where was the public consultation regarding this? So major bills will often have public inquiries, but if this changed, was it rushed through under national security justifications? Consultation could have been minimal or non-existent. I think non-existent because I can hear the wind go through the ghost town right now. Some amendments have been made, are buried within larger bills to avoid public scrutiny. So let's look at emergency or pretext for justification, because they will justify this. The Act now includes expanded provisions for calling up civilians. A pretext such as national security threats or regional conflicts could have been used to justify the urgency. The use of Governor-General proclamations under Section 60 means the government can enact conscription without further parliamentary approval once war is declared. Now, legal versus lawful authority. Under common law and natural law, such forced services should be argued as unlawful, violating self-determination and freedom of the soul. Let's look at international law. For example, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now, this may provide grounds to challenge it if anyone is called up in a compulsory nature. The Australian government, however, as most of you know, operates under statutory law, which prioritises legal authority over lawful principles. Oh, this is a lot for a Monday morning, but what can be done? What can we do? There needs to be some public awareness and legal challenges here, whether they're constitutional or human rights based. Now, look, we could go down the route of petitions, protests, legal advocacy, but how successful has that been so far in any matter? Now, we could look down the path of common law or natural law remedies, because that asserts sovereignty over this meat suit here against forced conscription. Absolutely. Because this matter is an example of legislation being imposed without direct consent, which raises serious lawful, ethical, and self-determination concerns. I have many in this beautiful community that could definitely weigh in on this. So send me an email, shoot me a message on my DM, and let's share all of our concerns. Really appreciate you. Please subscribe to this channel if you are watching on YouTube, because we are a non-profit, unincorporated, non-government, private membership association project providing education resources and tools to our community.